Listen up. If you're not stocking up now, you're going to be in deep trouble by December. This isn't a drill. Prices are skyrocketing, shelves are thinning out, and if you think inflation is bad today, wait until the winter shortages hit. People will be fighting over basics like it's Black Friday every single day. The window to prepare is closing fast, so you need to act before these staples disappear or cost you double. In this video, I'm breaking down the 10 grocery items you need to stockpile immediately. 1. Pasta and dry spaghetti. Hey everybody, if there's one thing you absolutely need to hoard before December, it's pasta. I'm talking dry spaghetti, macaroni, penne, fusilli, all of it. Prices are about to skyrocket because wheat crops have been hit hard this year. Global droughts, war disruptions, and inflation are going to make this simple staple way more expensive. Right now, you can find it for about $1 a pound in many stores. But don't expect that to last. Pasta has an insanely long shelf life if stored properly. Just keep it dry, away from pests, and in a cool place. Plus, it's versatile. You can stretch any meal with pasta, pair it with tomato sauce, use it in casseroles, or even throw it into soups. It's a calorie-dense food that can feed your family for days on the cheap if you get it now. You'll regret it later if you don't. A box that costs $1 today could be $3 by next year, and we all know how fast those price jumps can spiral. Grab 10 boxes? Nope. Make it 50. Your future self will thank you. 2. Peanut butter. Listen, peanut butter is liquid gold in a prepping pantry. If you're not stockpiling jars of this stuff right now, you're seriously messing up. Peanut butter prices are poised to climb sharply because peanut crops have been struggling. Not to mention transportation costs are through the roof. A single jar of store-brand peanut butter could jump from $2.50 to $5 or more in no time. And guess what? Peanut butter doesn't just taste good, it's a powerhouse of protein, healthy fats, and calories. A single tablespoon can fuel you through a hard day, whether you're stuck at home or braving a disaster. It lasts forever if you keep it sealed, and even open jars stay good for months in a cool, dry spot. Spread it on bread, mix it into oatmeal, or eat it straight off the spoon. It's the ultimate survival food. But here's the kicker. Major brands might already be cutting corners to reduce jar sizes while charging more. Don't fall for the shrinkflation. Buy big jars, buy them cheap, and buy now. If you're not leaving the store with at least 2 cases of peanut butter, are you even prepping? 3. Rice. Let me tell you something. Rice is the backbone of any long-term prepper pantry, and if you're not stockpiling it now, you're going to feel the burn in your wallet soon. Why? The global rice market is under serious strain. Major exporters like India are slapping export bans on certain types of rice to protect their own domestic supply, and that's sending prices soaring worldwide. Just this year, rice prices have already jumped by over 10%, and the trend isn't slowing down. Here in the U.S., a 20-pound bag of white rice might cost you $15, $20 today, but that same bag could easily be pushing $30 by next month as international shortages trickle down to your local grocery store. And here's the kicker. Rice is calorie gold. A single cup of cooked rice provides over 200 calories, making it an essential survival food when you're trying to stretch meals. Store it properly in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, and you've got a shelf life of 25 to 30 years. But don't think small. Get the big bags. I'm talking 50-pound sacks from wholesale clubs if you can find them. Skip the pre-seasoned box stuff, it's overpriced and packed with junk. Plain, raw, long-grain rice is where the real value lies. Every meal you cook with rice is one you're prepping for pennies, while others are out there spending dollars they don't have. Rice is going to be your financial and nutritional lifeline. Don't sleep on this. 4. Cooking oil. Now, here's where it gets serious. Cooking oil is about to become one of the most expensive and elusive items in your pantry if you don't act fast. And no, I'm not just talking about fancy olive oil. Even basic vegetable oil, canola oil, and sunflower oil are seeing price hikes like crazy. Just in the last 18 months, cooking oil prices have surged by more than 30% globally, thanks to reduced harvests of oil-producing crops like soybeans and sunflower seeds. Not to mention transportation bottlenecks driving up costs. Right now, you can grab a gallon of vegetable oil for around $7, $10, but those days are numbered. By the time we hit peak winter, that same gallon could easily be $15 or more. Here's the harsh reality. You can't cook squat without oil. It's the foundation for frying, baking, sautéing, practically every meal prep you'll ever do. And let's not forget the calorie density. 1 tablespoon of cooking oil packs around 120 calories, making it an essential survival food when calories become scarce. Properly stored in a cool, dark place, cooking oil can last a year or more, and certain oils like coconut oil last even longer. I'm not saying you need a couple of bottles. I'm saying you need gallons. If you've got a Costco membership, now's the time to haul home a shopping cart full of those giant jugs. Oil prices are tied to everything from farming to manufacturing, so when those costs jump, they hit everything. Don't let yourself get caught paying double later for what you can stock up on today for half the price. 5. Flour. Let me be brutally clear. Flour is one of the most critical staples in the American diet, and it's on the fast track to becoming unaffordable. We're talking about the very foundation of bread, pasta, pancakes, and baked goods, the stuff that keeps your pantry running. Here's the problem. Wheat harvests are getting crushed this year by erratic weather, supply chain disruptions, and geopolitical issues. Global wheat prices have surged by over 20% in the last 6 months alone. Right now, you can still grab a 5-pound bag of flour for about $2.50, $3.50, but that window is closing fast. And don't kid yourself about inflation stabilizing. Flour is a direct hit when production costs for farmers go up, and guess what? Those increases are passed straight to you. Flour isn't just cheap calories, it's versatile calories. You can make bread, biscuits, tortillas, pizza dough, or even thick soups with it. A 5-pound bag contains enough flour to bake about 5 loaves of bread. Do the math. That's feeding your family for pennies a meal. And flour stores incredibly well if you know how to handle it. Vacuum seal it or transfer it into food-grade buckets with mylar bags and oxygen absorbers. And you're looking at a shelf life of 5 years minimum. Want to be smarter about this? Stock up on both all-purpose flour and whole wheat flour so you've got options when the shelves are bare. This isn't just about saving money, it's about having the raw materials to make food when processed alternatives are long gone. So load your cart like your life depends on it. Because it does. 6. Canned tomatoes. Let me tell you why canned tomatoes are an absolute must-have right now. First off, tomatoes are at the mercy of one of the most fragile agricultural supply chains in the U.S., and 2024 is shaping up to be a disaster. California, responsible for nearly all of America's processed tomato products, has been hammered by droughts, floods, and skyrocketing irrigation costs. That's already sent prices for canned tomatoes, pasta sauce, and even ketchup climbing by nearly 15% this year. And it's not stopping. A 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes that used to cost $1.50 might hit $3 by January. Think I'm exaggerating? Look at the shrinking supplies on store shelves already. Here's why canned tomatoes matter. They are the workhorse of your pantry. Soups, stews, chili, pasta sauces, casseroles, canned tomatoes form the base of hundreds of recipes. They're high in vitamins like C and K and bring a tangy, flavorful punch that turns basic staples into satisfying meals. And the best part? Canned tomatoes last indefinitely. Forget the best buy date. These cans will hold up for years if stored in a cool, dry spot. Now, don't just buy a few cans. I'm talking flats of these things. Stockpile them like they're gold. Get diced, crushed, whole, and even tomato paste. The versatility here is unmatched, and you'll thank yourself when fresh produce becomes out of reach expensive in the winter months. And don't fall for overpriced branded options. Go for store brands. They're just as good. Bottom line, canned tomatoes are about to become a luxury item for some. But you can lock in today's prices if you act now. Fill your pantry like you're preparing for the apocalypse, because for many wallets, it's already here. 7. Sugar. Sugar might seem like an afterthought when you're talking about prepping, but let me tell you, it's about to become a luxury item. Global sugar supplies are in crisis, and you're about to feel it hard. Brazil, the world's largest sugar exporter, has shifted a massive portion of its sugar crop into ethanol production due to rising fuel demands. On top of that, India's sugar harvests are suffering from severe droughts, and they're limiting exports to protect their domestic market. This 1-2 punch is sending sugar prices soaring. Futures on sugar have already risen by over 40% this year, and retail prices are starting to follow suit. A standard 4-pound bag that costs you $3 today could easily hit $5 or $6 by early next year. And don't think for a second that sugar is just about baking cakes and cookies. It's critical for food preservation. If you're into canning or making jams, syrups, or pickled foods, sugar is non-negotiable. It's also essential for brewing alcohol, a key barter item if things get really rough. Properly stored in airtight containers, sugar lasts indefinitely. There's no expiration date here. And here's a fun fact. It's one of the easiest foods to stockpile because pests like rodents don't go after it like they do grains. But don't just buy a few bags, get the largest sacks you can find. 10-pound or even 25-pound options from bulk retailers. If you don't, you'll be kicking yourself when baking a batch of bread or making preserves becomes unaffordable. Plus, sugar shortages hit every corner of the food market. Candy, soda, pre-made sauces, all those prices will rise as raw sugar costs jump. Stock up now or pay double later. 8. Powdered milk. If you haven't already started hoarding powdered milk, you're behind the curve. Dairy prices are going haywire, and powdered milk is no exception. Milk production in the U.S. has taken a hit from rising feed costs, extreme weather, and labor shortages. Retail milk prices are already up 14% year over year, and powdered milk, because of its long shelf life and versatility, is becoming harder to find at reasonable prices. A 3.2-pound bag that costs $15 today might be $20 or $25 within months. Here's the deal with powdered milk. It's not just a substitute for fresh milk. It's a survival essential. You can use it in baking, making sauces, or even rehydrating it for drinking. It's packed with protein, calcium, and essential vitamins, making it a critical source of nutrition when fresh dairy isn't available. The shelf life is unbeatable. Store it in airtight containers, and you're looking at 10 years or more of usability if kept cool and dry. But don't just buy one bag thinking it's enough. Milk is foundational in cooking and nutrition, and if you've got kids or elderly family members to care for, you'll need a lot more than you think. Stockpile it like you're preparing for a full dairy shutdown. And here's the harsh truth. When fresh milk gets too expensive or unavailable, people will flood the market for powdered milk, and you'll be priced out if you wait. Right now, you've got a chance to lock in prices before the chaos hits. Don't waste it. 9. Salt. If you think salt is just a cheap, endless resource, think again. Right now, you can buy a pound of table salt for under $1 in most places, but those prices are creeping up, and fast. Why? The global salt supply is facing unexpected pressures. First, extreme weather events are hitting major salt production areas, disrupting the steady flow we've taken for granted. Add to that rising transportation costs, especially for bulk goods like salt. And you've got a recipe for a price hike. Salt might not hit headlines like oil or wheat, but here's the harsh truth. It's just as critical. You're not just using salt to season your food. It's a cornerstone of preservation and survival. Salt is essential for curing meat, fermenting vegetables, and even making homemade electrolyte solutions if water supplies are compromised. And let's talk shelf life. Properly stored salt lasts forever. That means you can buy as much as you want now and never worry about it going bad. The kicker is that salt shortages could hit more than your grocery bill. Processed foods, animal feed, and even industrial uses like road salt will all see price spikes. Stock up while you can. Go beyond the basic table salt and grab varieties like kosher salt, sea salt, and even pickling salt for more specialized uses. A few bucks spent now could save you from having to pay triple, or worse, running out entirely, when it matters most. Think 50 pounds, not 5. Salt isn't just a seasoning, it's survival insurance. 10. Oats. Oats might seem like a humble breakfast staple, but they're about to become a luxury item if you don't act fast. Oat crops are taking a beating worldwide. Canada, one of the largest oat exporters, has reported smaller yields thanks to extreme weather conditions. And the ripple effect is already being felt in the U.S. prices for rolled oats, steel-cut oats, and even oat-based products like instant oatmeal and granola are climbing steadily. In 2023 alone, oat prices rose over 20%, and they're expected to keep climbing as supply dwindles and demand stays high. Why oats? They're cheap, versatile, and ridiculously nutritious. A single cup of cooked oats provides around 150 calories, 6 grams of protein, and 4 grams of fiber. Fuel that keeps you full and energized. You can eat them for breakfast, bake them into breads and cookies, or even grind them into flour for more creative uses. Oats also store exceptionally well. Keep them in airtight containers, add oxygen absorbers, and they'll stay fresh for years. But here's the brutal truth. Oats are about to get expensive and hard to find, especially in bulk. A 42-ounce canister that's $4 today might be $6 or $7 by spring. And if you think instant oats will save you, think again. Those pre-packaged flavored packets are loaded with sugar and cost way more per ounce. Stockpile the plain stuff now. Think big bags, not single canisters. You'll save money, keep your pantry full, and have one of the most adaptable survival foods ready to go. When everyone else is scrambling for overpriced breakfast cereals, you'll be sitting pretty with a stash that could last years. All right, folks, that's the 10 grocery items you need to stockpile now before December hits. This isn't the time to wait and see what happens. It's the time to act. Prices are climbing, supplies are thinning, and by the time most people realize what's going on, it'll already be too late. If you're serious about keeping your family fed, your pantry full, and your wallet intact, now's the moment to take charge. Don't just buy one or two of these items. Go big, because you'll thank yourself later when shelves are empty and prices are double or triple what they are today. And hey, let me know in the comments what you've been stocking up on, and if you've noticed prices skyrocketing in your area. I want to hear about it. Don't forget to share this video with friends and family who need a wake-up call, and make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next critical prepping update. Stay safe, stay prepared, and remember, the ones who prepare now are the ones who survive later. I'll catch you in the next one.